We're getting closer and closer to Winx Club Reboot, and with every new teaser, official synopsis, and visual reveal, I can see some stories coming even before its premiere. Today, we're diving into these spoilers that already give us a taste of what's coming. 1. Dark Bloom returns. Let's start with the most iconic one. Dark Bloom is back. In Season 2 of the original series, Lord Darkar managed to corrupt Bloom's dragon flame, turning her into a darker version of herself. That arc was unforgettable because it showed the danger of her powers and her vulnerability to manipulation. Also, it was really hard to see Bloom fighting with others in the darkest version of herself. Now, in the reboot, we see Bloom undergo a similar transformation. In the revealed shot, Bloom's design is expectedly twisted reflection of her usual fairy form. Her eyes glow with a dangerous intensity, her facial expression is more aggressive, and her hands radiate corrupted energy. And of course, not the warm orange and golden tones of the dragon flame, but the shades of pink and violet. The biggest twist is the villain behind it. In the original, Darkar was the puppet master, but in the reboot, it's Vexius, a new villain who seems to embody traits of both Darkar and Baltor. And unlike Darkar, Vexius doesn't just manipulate Bloom's emotions. In the next shot, he actually takes control of her dragon flame itself. In another scene, we see him summon a massive dark dragon. This beast, powered by Bloom's flame but corrupted through dark magic, breathes purple fire while its red eyes blaze with evil. It was really amazing to see Bloom's own power turning against her friends. That makes the Dark Bloom concept more interesting. The idea that her flame can be weaponized to create a dragon of destruction raises terrifying possibilities. What if Vexius can replicate this? What if Dark Bloom becomes a recurring form? A state Bloom risks falling into whenever she doubts herself. I really wonder what you think about that.
Well, you'll have to contend with me then.
Oh yeah?
2. Bloom's first transformation in Cloud Tower. Next, let's talk about Bloom's first transformation sequence, and it's actually a huge change. In the original series, Bloom's first transformation happened in Episode 3 of Season 1. At that point, she was still adjusting to life at Alfea. Later that episode, during the ball with the specialists, the Trix launched an attack. Bloom stumbled into their plan, and when she was backed into a corner, something inside her finally awakened. She transformed for the first time. Now we can compare it to the reboot. From what we've seen, Bloom's first transformation doesn't happen at Alfea at all. It happens in Cloud Tower. That's a drastic change. Cloud Tower is the witch's domain. By placing her first transformation there, the reboot completely redefines the meaning of that moment. Instead of finding her powers while surrounded by fairies and teachers, Bloom discovers them in the heart of darkness. I think that makes her transformation more symbolic. Instead of trying to save herself, it seems that Bloom's inner flame power stems from the pure intention of saving her friends.
It starts with a shimmer, a flicker in your chest, like something's waking up.
3. Bloom suspecting she might be a witch. One of the most funny spoilers from the reboot synopsis is the idea that Bloom will question whether she's actually a fairy or a witch. This is a direct callback to episode 16 of the original series, when the Trix deceived Bloom into believing she wasn't a fairy at all. They played with her insecurities about her origins and her lack of training, convincing her that she was meant to be a witch instead. Bloom nearly lost herself to that lie, and it was only thanks to Myrta, the witch who longed to be a fairy, that she realized the truth. In the reboot, the setup is similar, but the execution might be darker. It seems like the Trix are once again behind the deception, planting doubt in Bloom's mind. But without Myrta, who will help Bloom uncover the truth? Perhaps Bloom will have to figure it out herself. The answer may lie in her powers. Witches draw their strength from external dark sources, but Bloom's dragon flame is a life-giving force of creation. If she pays attention to the nature of her magic, she'll realize it isn't witchcraft at all.
Oh, Brandon!
What is it? What did you see?
4. The Trix have their own symbol. Let's move on to the Trix, who are also getting a major upgrade. In the original series, magical symbols were reserved for major villains like Baltor. His symbol marked everything under his influence, spreading like a brand across Magix. It was a terrifying sign of his growing control. But in the reboot, the Trix themselves now have their own magical symbol. We see it appear when they cast spells, a unique emblem that represents their dark magic. It means the Trix are establishing their own magical identity, their own brand of darkness. It also elevates them from side villains to central antagonists. In the original, the Trix often worked under Darkar or Veltor, only to be discarded when they were no longer useful. In the reboot, their symbol could mean that they're showing out their own legacy.
I think it's time to give her a little taste of witch magic.
5. Magixia versus Magix. Now let's talk about one of the most visible changes, the redesign of Magix. In the original series, Magix was an ordinary and mysterious city. With its tall spires, green skies, and alien beauty, it looked like a place in future technology compared to its release date. But in the reboot, it is now Magixia. The new version of the city looks completely different. It's bright, colorful, and whimsical. Pink rooftops, floating bridges, sparkling lights. Actually, it feels more like a futuristic fantasy city like we see in a lot of animated movies. Even the cars have wings, giving the city a lively, cartoonish charm. This redesign will definitely split the fan base. For some, the vibrant, colorful Magixia will of course be refreshing, a perfect match for the reboot's CGI style. For others, it may feel like a loss. The original design gave Magix a sense of history and danger. But actually, Magixia, by contrast, looks safer and more playful.
Bloom! Guys! I'm glad you're here!
6. Bloom loses her power. Finally, let's discuss one of the most dramatic spoilers, Bloom losing her power again. In Season 1 of the original series, Bloom's dragon flame was stolen by the Trix, leaving her powerless. That arc was one of the most emotional in the show, forcing Bloom to confront her identity without magic and proving that her worth wasn't defined by her powers. The reboot seems to revisit this idea, but with a twist. Instead of completely stealing her flame, the Trix only seem to take fragments of it, glimpses of her power. Seeing that scene, it raises two possible scenarios. First one is the theory of Bloom's power being still stealable. If that's the case, history repeats itself. Bloom may once again be left powerless, questioning her worth, and the Winx will have to rally around her until she finds the strength to reclaim her flame. It would be a nostalgic callback to the events in the first version of the show. The second one is, for me, more interesting. It is that Bloom's power is unstealable. If the Trix can only take fragments, then Bloom is never fully powerless, but this creates a new kind of horror. Her flame can still be used against her. And I actually talked about in the beginning of the video, even if Bloom somehow gets saved by the dark magic, just imagine fighting an enemy powered by pieces of your own magic. Even if she's not completely drained, Bloom would constantly fear her greatest gift being twisted into a weapon of destruction. But of course, both scenarios keep the dragon flame at the center of the conflict, just like in the original. But they divide in two paths. The Winx Club reboot is shaping up to be more than just a retelling. It has some important reinvention, mixing callbacks to iconic moments with brand new ideas. We're seeing the return of Dark Bloom, Bloom's transformation tied to Cloud Tower, and even a storyline where she questions if she's secretly a witch. The Trix are stepping up as more independent villains with their own symbol. Magix has been redesigned into the bright, futuristic Magixia, and Bloom's dragon flame is once again under threat, either from being stolen or corrupted. And the video ends here. What do you think about all of these? Please let me know in the comments. Also, if you enjoyed it, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and like the video. See you in the next one!